Happy Monday! Christmas week is upon us. And we're back at it with tidings of comfort and joy on this 20th day of December 2021. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. First things first, right out of the box, no school today. None. Because they're on winter break. Has nothing to do with the weather. It's been snowing lightly anyway, sometimes a little more intensely, but mostly lightly since about 3:30 this morning. So for about the last 3.5 hours. It's been snowing, a couple of inches here on the valley floor. Other locations are getting more, and that's what we're going to have. Most of the day today, some light snow, light accumulations. It's going to make for a pretty dicey commute. Luckily, we are in the holiday break for a lot of people, so traffic will be lighter than normal with no school and other things going on. We're going to get a little more snow today, and then we're going to catch a little bit of a break, and then we're going to be unsettled all the way through Christmas Day. And right now, the odds are pretty good. We're going to have a white Christmas. We like that. Remember, last year it snowed Christmas night. Whether we'll be as lucky, I don't know. We'll find out with the weather forecast. We'll also take you up to the major mountain passes. We have news to get to. We got a whole bunch of sports to pass along to you. Lots and lots of sports. Don't have a Seahawk final for you because they're not going to play till tomorrow at 4 o'clock because of the COVID issues with the Rams. Now the Seahawks have COVID issues. We'll talk about that. Today is the last day of autumn. This is it. Tomorrow morning, during this program at 7:58 in the morning, the winter solstice will come. And because we always have Bonnie Orr on the solstices and the equinoxes 4 times a year, Bonnie will be my guest later on today to talk about the winter gardening do's and don'ts, and especially how to take care of our feathered little friends, our good friends, the birds, who need to eat and survive what's going to be, it looks like, a pretty snowy and pretty cold winter. We'll have all of that. So at 2 minutes after the hour, I have no idea. My guess is our cameras are pretty limited this morning on this Monday because they have overcast and fog and snow. I think we're probably going to start with the Cascadian camera in downtown Wenatchee. The cross camera, you simply can't see anything. It's just a big white blanket of nothing. So we say good morning to Wenatchee Avenue from the top of the Cascadian looking to the north along the avenue. And again, the roads are all snow covered, all of them. Even the main arterials are dealing with snow, and it's starting to get compact as the traffic begins to pick up. Camera number 2, same deal, Cascadian looking to the south. Now, the scanner has been pretty quiet this morning. I think everybody's taking it real easy or waiting for a little while to head on down the road to go out and run your last minute Christmas errands, whatever it may be, because it has been pretty quiet and traffic is very light here on this Monday, lighter than normal. And again, if you want to wait a couple hours, let the plows get ahead of the game, probably not a bad idea. If you're driving to the mountain passes, yeah, you're not going to like that at all. Camera number 3. We take a look from the Cougar Ridge camera, looking back down where Eastmont meets the Otobashian Bridge. And the Otobashian Bridge, of course, as you can see, still the roads are covered in snow. This is, of course, one of the longest days of the year. Sunrise this morning, it's not till 7:45. Sunset this afternoon, 4:12. That's 8 hours and 27 minutes of daylight. Tomorrow will be 8 hours and 26 minutes of daylight. And then gradually it gets longer and longer. And finally, camera number 4. Oh, it's off to Billy Goat. Now there's a camera that looks really spectacular. It's amazing how Billy Goat up there is not socked in with the clouds and the fog, but the accumulating snow that we're getting is actually coming from the south. That big system that was expected was supposed to just skip by us. Well, it kind of stalled over southern Washington, which is why the Tri-Cities, Walla Walla, and Yakima are getting more snow than we are, which doesn't happen very often, but the system is coming from the south and not from the west. Ergo, they're getting more snow, and up there, it's covered in snow, but the skies are fairly clear. As we look out over Pateros, Brewster, you can't see Bridgeport, it's tucked behind the ridge there, and on up to Omak and Okanagan. Good morning to our friends up at the Billy Goat camera. Okay, we have some slides to show for you. First of all, more snow today, a couple of inches, all things said and done. Maybe even 3 inches possible. Again, this system kind of stopped. It was supposed to slide through right along the Oregon-Washington border, right along the Columbia River down through the Tri-Cities, but it kind of slowed down, and it's allowing us for more snow than they were expecting when we last chatted over the weekend. The mountain passes are going to get a lot of snow, as you might imagine. Basically, I-90 south is where it's going to get real dicey. Normally, we talk about the pass report because that's the worst of the driving conditions. But it's not going to be very easy if you're heading off to the Lilac City of Spokane or off to the Idaho Panhandle today. You're going to be having winter driving conditions out on I-90. Now, this week in weather, pretty active, all things considered. Again, widespread light snow for almost everybody. As we just mentioned, south of the I-90 corridor in Stevens Pass, you're going to get the most amount of snow. So if you're heading down to Yakima through the Menashash Ridge, it's going to be pretty dicey indeed, and right on into the Tri-Cities. We catch a break on Tuesday. We'll have a few sun breaks. We'll warm up a little bit. And then we go right back to unsettled weather on Wednesday, and really persisting right on in to Christmas Day. It's looking really good right now that we are going to have a white Christmas. And then we are going to get cold. A very cold weather pattern is going to develop later on in the week. It's going to start right around Christmas Day, right around Saturday. So if you like your Christmas cold and snowy, you're going to get it. And then we're going to drop down. The temperatures are going to be lower than a gopher's basement by the time we say goodbye to 2021 and welcome 2022. Get ready for some cold temperatures and some snowy conditions. The long-term forecast starting on Christmas Day is what you see there. A much better than 50-50 average for colder temperatures and a better than 50-50 average for precipitation. So it looks pretty cold and pretty wintry coming up from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Lots of clouds, so snow will continue. It's going to slow down a little bit as the day progresses, but a lot of it depends on how long it takes this system to get out of the area to the south of us that's giving us that residual snow. Again, it's snowing considerably heavier to the south of us than it is here in the Wenatchee Valley. The farther north you go, the less snow you're going to get to, with the exception of the passes. We'll top off at about 30 degrees. Again, a couple of more inches of snow than what we already have today. Patchy fog tonight, clouding up, 27 for the overnight low. Slight chance of light snow tomorrow, but the snow level is going to go all the way up to about 4,000 feet. We'll even see a few sun breaks, and it's going to warm up a little bit to about 31 degrees. Snow melt Wednesday, a little bit, but not too much. Although we could see some afternoon rain on Wednesday. We'll keep a close eye on that. As you can see, considerably milder. High of about 40 degrees on Wednesday. Again, a chance of snow sometimes mixed with rain on Thursday, with the high again about 40. So look for a little bit of snow melt, but maybe not too much on Wednesday and Thursday. A lot of that's going to depend on how much rain we get and how much of this is going to be a rain-snow mix. So with the snow we're going to get today and a little bit of light snow tonight into Tuesday, it's going to take quite a bit of snow melt for us to not have a white Christmas. Christmas Eve proper on Friday. We are looking at a good chance of snow Christmas Eve. Wouldn't that be cool? Have the snow come down when Santa's out doing his thing, and then Saturday, Christmas Day, 50-50 chance of snow, lots of clouds, and chilly with a high of only 32 degrees, and then it gets really cold starting Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Just like the ones I used to know. Now I got to pay Irving Berlin $9. To the mountain passes we go. Brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. Member SIPC. Do we have the pass shots here, Uriah? Not coming up. I'll just tell you what's going on. Stevens Pass. Traction tires are advised. It is snowing with compact snow and ice on the roadway. Get ready for me to say that a bunch of times. Blue Pass is a traction tire requirement with compact snow and ice on the roadway. It is snowing on Blewett Pass and I-90. Not surprisingly, it's not good. Chains are required on all vehicles except all-wheel drive on Snoqualmie Pass. It is snowing hard on I-90 with poor visibility. Stevens, traction tires advised. Blewett required. Snoqualmie change required. 4 to 8 inches of snow today, about an inch tonight, about an inch on Tuesday. Tonight and Tuesday is your best window to get going. The plows will get ahead of the game a little bit, and then here comes more snow. On Tuesday night in the mountain passes, 2 to 4 inches. Wednesday, 3 to 7 inches. Wednesday night, 3 to 5 inches. Thursday, 3 to 5 inches. Thursday night, snow. Friday, snow. Friday night, Christmas Eve in the mountains, snow. Christmas Day, snow. Going to snow most of the week with the exception of tonight and Tuesday. Again, traction tires are advised on Stevens, required on Blewett. Chains are required on I-90, and they're expecting snow pretty much all day today in the Cascades. All right, 9 minutes after the hour. Sorry, the cameras didn't work. I don't know. It's Monday. We work without a net here. Going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Are you looking at buying your first home or additional homes, perhaps an investment property or refinancing? Let the local Caliber home loan experts help guide you every step of the way with 2 convenient locations to serve you in Wenatchee and Chelan. Give us a call today.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life Channel.
ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today. Continues to snow lightly in the Wenatchee Valley. We have 21 degrees. Light snow most of the day today. A little residual snow tonight. Some sun breaks and dry conditions expected on Tuesday. Maybe some light rain snow mix with warmer temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. And then more snow perhaps on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then we get cold. At 11 minutes after the hour, we'll begin with this story. The Michigan man who was arrested for attacking a Wenatchee hotel worker last May was convicted Friday of first-degree assault and first-degree kidnapping. Chelan County jurors found 33-year-old James Lawrence Jackson Smith guilty on those counts, but they acquitted him on the most serious charge, attempted first-degree murder. The 23-year-old victim testified that Jackson Smith attacked her from behind and tried to subdue her with a chokehold while she tried to fix the toilet in his hotel room. Jackson Smith told jurors he was defending himself after she struck him first.
So I will now read the verdicts. As to verdict form count 1, we, the jury, find the defendant James Lawrence Jackson Smith guilty of the crime of assault in the first degree as charged in count 1 of the information dated the 17th day of December 2021, signed by the presiding juror. Special verdict form count 1, we, the jury, return a special verdict by answering as follows. Was the defendant James Lawrence Jackson Smith armed with a deadly weapon at the time of the commission of the crime in count 1? Answer, yes, signed by the foreperson. Verdict form count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant James Lawrence Jackson Smith guilty of the crime of kidnapping in the first degree as charged in count 2 of the information dated the 17th day of December 2021, and it is signed by the presiding juror. Verdict form count 3, we, the jury, find the defendant James Lawrence Jackson Smith not guilty of the crime of attempted murder in the first degree as charged in count 3 of the information dated the 17th day of December 2021, and it is signed by the presiding juror.
Jackson Smith now faces an estimated prison term of anywhere from 14 to 18 years. He'll be sentenced in Chelan County Superior Court next week. Jackson Smith was one of the personalities on the History Channel television show Axemen, which aired for several seasons beginning back in 2008. Mike Mccourt, the former East Wenatchee Water and Sewer Commissioner who pled guilty to child molestation in 2018, is now out of prison. He was released after serving almost 3 years and 9 months. The State Department of Corrections says Mccourt, who's now 81, was released Wednesday from Airway Heights Corrections Center near Spokane. He was sentenced in Douglas County Court for molesting an 8-year-old boy 6 years ago. Now, during the investigation by East Wenatchee Police, 4 other adult survivors came forward to say they too have been sexually abused by Mccourt when they were children. Now that he's free, Mccourt will be supervised by DOC for the remainder of his life. He was president and a 22-year member of the East Wenatchee Water District Board at the time of his arrest. Mccourt previously served as chairman of the Douglas County Republican Party. His late wife, Sandra Mccourt, was an East Wenatchee City Council member. 3 men who stole an estimated $76,000 worth of marijuana from an Okanagan County cannabis shop will not have to pay restitution to the victims. Joseph Jones, Thomas Robertson, and Nathaniel Moen, they broke into a storage trailer in December of 2015 and took at least 3 garbage bags full of marijuana. Well, they pleaded guilty and were ordered to pay a total of $76,000 in restitution. But the State Court of Appeals says the Okanagan County Prosecutor's Office failed to ask for that restitution within the 180-day period as required by law. All three have now served their sentences, but the ruling means the court-ordered damages don't have to be repaid. The prosecutor has the option to appeal to the higher court's decision to the Washington State Supreme Court. And the Chelan County PUD has completed its rebuild of 4 miles of transmission line in the Chelan Valley that'll make it less susceptible to wildfires. PUD crews replaced 34 structures between Chelan Falls and Union Valley from July to December, and it cost about $2.7 million. The line burned down in a 2015 wildfire that knocked out power to about 3,500 customers for 36 hours before crews could restore the power. The PUD said the new high-voltage transmission line uses a fire-resistant steel design to protect the grid from the threat of wildfires. And now you're in the loop of what's making news on this Monday, the 20th day of December. We'll be back at it again at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with all the news that you need to find out what happened on this Monday. We believe in having an informed viewership. We like to do our part. We hope you do yours by watching the news. With the preview, here's Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, get ready for a very active weather pattern as we head into the Christmas weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a weekend wrap on all the high school, college, and pro sports action. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a note if you are so inclined to do so. Look at the bottom of your screen. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or you can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon. After a 1-minute break, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everybody's entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion, and my conversation with Bonnie Orr on this, the last day of autumn. What you need to do to get your garden ready to go come spring. Bonnie will let you know that. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Things have changed in the motorsports industry. Short supply and high demand have emptied showrooms. But what hasn't changed are the experts at Doghouse Motorsports. They are here to help you reserve the machine of your choice. Stop by and check out the latest 2022 Husqvarna motorcycles, UBCO, and Intense electric vehicles, and other new additions to the Doghouse Motorsports family of high-quality products.
Over the last year and a half, the industry's absolutely changed, but the Doghouse is still your best option for all your power sports needs.
I'm Dr. Malcolm Butler. I'm a family physician here at CVCH. And I've been a family physician here for the past 28 years. For 25 of those years, I've been the chief medical officer. And now I get to return to my first passion, which is the delivery of primary care. I'm looking forward to welcoming you and your family to join me as I practice 3 days a week in our 600 Orondo building in Wenatchee.
Eighteen minutes after the hour, let's do sports chronologically. We'll start with Friday night and work our way up to today. To the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. We'll start out with boys basketball, where Wenatchee Friday night was held to single digits in all 4 quarters. That's not going to get the job done. They got crushed by Davis, 62-31. Moses Lake pounded Ike, 77-44. Okanagan beating Brewster. Othello nipping Ephrata in boys basketball Friday night. Pateros edging Waterville Mansfield. Tenasket topped Manson, and Riverside Christian eased past Antioch. Girls play Friday. Christina Blauman had 11 points for Wenatchee, but it wasn't enough as the Panthers lost to Davis 48-34. Kiana Yesaki scored 27 points for Ike as the Cadets beat Moses Lake 58-54. Othello stopped Ephrata. Okanagan demolished Brewster, and Waterville Mansfield popping Pateros with Tenasket mauling Manson. The Wenatchee Wild continue their winning ways Friday with a big 6-2 win over the Merritt Centennials. Kate Littler came away with a hat trick on the night, which brought the Teddy Bears raining down. It was Teddy Bear toss at the Town Toyota Center. Our good friend Sean Ziers with a call Friday night from the Town Toyota Center.
That by Brett Overly. He regains control of the puck. Here's Littler. He scores! Kate Littler got the scoring started last night for the Wild, and deja vu again. He gets Wenatchee on the board, and here come the Teddy Bears. Time of the goal, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Kate Littler Cross-ice pass to Samosa. Now to Parker. Littler backs it in. He scores. Getting it over to Littler. Littler down the wing. Shoots and scores. And there's your hat trick for Cade Littler. 3 seconds. Here's another shot. It's blocked, and that's going to do it. Your final plum-perfect final score, Wenatchee 6 and Merritt 2.
Also scoring goals for Wenatchee on Friday night, Cade Stibbe, Ben Ivey, and Owen Bond. Tyler Shea stopping 35 of 37 shots for the victory. Saturday's sports day began with an impressive win for Montana State. In the FCS semifinals, the Bobcats broke open a 17-all game to down South Dakota State 31-17. So they're in the FCS Division Championship game against North Dakota State. The game will be played in Frisco, Texas, January 8th at 9 a.m. on ESPN2. Football gave way to basketball Saturday. Fifth-ranked Gonzaga, no real problems against Texas Tech, 69-55. Andrew Nembhard, 16 points and 6 assists for the Bulldogs. DJ Robin came off the bench to score a career-high 21 points to leave 5 players in double figures. Washington State cruised to a victory over Northern Colorado. And the Huskies finally returned to play basketball after not playing basketball for 3 weeks because of COVID. And they beat Seattle U 64-56 on Saturday. Emmett Matthews Jr. leading the Huskies with 17 points. Before we get to the women's side of the Les Schwab scoreboard, we had a couple of high school games here on the NCW Life channel on Saturday. It began with Moses Lake visiting Eastmont. Sydney McDonald scoring 13 points to lead the Chiefs over the Wildcats 47-31. Eric Grandstrom and Grant Olson with the call here on the NCW Life channel.
She gets it in. Karstetter with the drive. Wraparound pass. Beautiful to McDonald for the shot. High post Karstetter. Beautiful pass underneath for Bishkoff. She'll run it through, come out, drive in, kick it out. McDonald for a long 3. Good. Pass out top. Now the drive. Now a pass across. They were looking for Heaps. But Eastmont steps in front. Here's Bauman taking it coast to coast. Lays it up. Good. Sutherland with it. Now here's a 3. Good. Kylie Weems. Look forward to that. Here's a 3-pointer. Good. How about that? Where's that been all night?
Oh, no. That's Sutherland. Sorry.
It's Sutherland with the 3. Finally got it to coax through the rim, and that'll be our final score here tonight. Moses Lake gets their second win of Big 9 play. 47-31 the final.
All right, to other action on Saturday, courtesy of our friends at Les Schwab. Wenatchee edged Cheney 39-38. Quincy topped Tenasket 64-23. Okanagan cruised over Chelan, Clayel and Roslyn. Downing Pateris, Liberty blasted Brewster 66-28. And Waterville Mansfield remained unbeaten. They beat Wilbur Creston in girls basketball on Saturday night 37-35. All right, boys basketball, again from Les Schwab. Eastmont came back from being down 21 points to Moses Lake in the second half. They cut the lead all the way to 2, but they couldn't get any closer. The Chiefs pull out the 6-point victory. Once again, Grant and Eric with the call on the NCW Life channel.
Here's Wiersma. Baseline. Monahan with it. Going to take the 3. It's good. Underneath. Travato. Double team. Baseline. Monahan's feeling it. Shot for 3. It's good. McDonald to Ulenchuk. Underneath. Tibbs working on easily. It's good, and he's fouled. Tibbs, 6 on the shot clock now for the Chiefs. McDonald underneath. Ulenchuk, beautiful ball movement. Good. 22 on the night for Ulenchuk. 6-point Chiefs lead. Monahan up and good. And he has a chance for a 3-point play. Eastmont in the second half. Here's the shot taken. Purcell for 3. It's good. Shot taken and no good. At the buzzer, no good. And that will do it.
Exciting basketball. All right, to the Les Schwab scoreboard on Saturday night for boys. Let's see. Cheney edged Wenatchee. Quincy quieted Tenasket. Okanagan edged Chelan. Wilbur Creston got by Waterville Mansfield, and Liberty over Brewster. Back to the ice we go. Wenatchee Wild winning their 5th straight game on Saturday night. They beat Merritt 4-1. The Centennials got on the board first. They led 1-0 until Wenatchee got the scoring going in the second period. Once again, Sean Ziers with the call on Hockey TV.
They'll leave it for Parker. Now a shot, score! Brett Overly. Nice defensive play by Bowser. Wenatchee gets in, shoots, and scores! Yeah! defensive play by the Wild to get the puck out of the zone. And now here comes Owen Bond on the breakaway. He's in. He shoots and scores! Owen Bond with a backhander. He now retakes the goalie. Now another shot. He scores! 4 seconds left. Ooh, and a big hit right in front of the net. Ben Ivy. And that's going to do it. Wenatchee has won their 5th straight game.
5 in a row for the Wild. Brett Oberle, Hudson Blue, Oren Bone, and Mario Gasparini all scored for Wenatchee on Saturday night. The Wild are now on their Christmas break. They'll be back at the Town Toyota Center December 30th and then again December 31st against Prince George. The Seattle Kraken lost their 2nd straight NHL game Saturday, lost at home to Edmonton. The final was 5-3. It was a rare case of Seattle getting out to a 2-0 lead and then not being able to hold on. Ryan Donato and Jared McCann put the Kraken up 2-0 midway through the first period. The Oilers tied it before the end of the first. The two teams traded goals in the second. Then Edmonton scored 2 unanswered goals in the third to win it. Now, Seattle's game Sunday, yesterday against Toronto, and this week at Calgary have been postponed because of COVID-19. They're not allowing the teams to travel across the Canadian to American border and vice versa. Turning to the Les Schwab Women's College Basketball scoreboard from the weekend. Washington State shot just 26% from the field, and they lost to BYU, not surprisingly, 71-53. Charlize Ledger-Walker led the Cougars with 21 points. Alex Whitefield broke a 54-all tie with a jumper with $1:16 remaining to lift Washington over Eastern Washington in Seattle on Saturday. And Haley Van Lith drained 2 crucial three-pointers down the stretch to help number 6 Louisville edge number 7 UConn. On Sunday, the game is broadcast live on ESPN.
Chelsea Hall to Van Lith. Van Lith got it.
How tough that shot is.
Deanna Smith, Van Lith from outside, drops down for 3. 3 minutes now to go in the 4th. Van Lith needed to see one drop in. She's fired up. She knocks down a second one. Double figures now for Haley Van Lith. Now with 16 for the game, Westbrook will try a 3. That won't drop, and the Louisville Cardinals have come to Connecticut and knocked off the Huskies.
Haley Van Lith, by the way, 16 points for Louisville. Elsewhere in women's college basketball, Gonzaga blew a 15-point halftime lead and fell on the road to UC Davis, 69-66. The Aggies outscored the Bulldogs 19-8 in the 4th quarter. And Washington State finished the weekend going 0 for 2. They lost Sunday to Stony Brook, 69-62. Charlize Ledger-Walker led the way with 19 points. Seahawks hope to have Tyler Lockett and Alex Collins back in the lineup. They play the Rams tomorrow afternoon at 4. Seattle, of course, makes the trip to L.A. after the game was postponed to tomorrow after 29 Rams players tested positive for COVID. Kickoff, by the way, 4 o'clock tomorrow on Fox. Eastmont and Wenatchee High Schools are on the holiday break. Everybody's on holiday break now, but they will host a basketball tournament over the next 3 days. The girls' Giza Winter Shootout begins tonight at 6. Wenatchee will host Prosser, and Eastmont will welcome Hanford. Tomorrow at 6 is Kennewick at Wenatchee and Prosser at Eastmont. Then Wednesday at 1, Davis at Wenatchee, followed by Kennewick at Eastmont at 2:30. And here's what the boys' schedule looks like. Meade will take on Eisenhower today at 1:30 at Wenatchee High School. Tonight at 7:30 is Prosser at Eastmont and Moses Lake at Wenatchee. Tomorrow's 6 o'clock games, Wenatchee has Prosser taking on Moses Lake. Eastmont hosts Ike. And Wednesday at 2:30, it's Prosser at Wenatchee. Get your fix of high school basketball. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday, the 20th day of December. Happy National Sangria Day. It's another food or drink-related obscure holiday. They seem to be everywhere this time of year. Of course, it's originated in Spain and Portugal. It's usually made with red wine, occasionally white wine, but it's basically red wine. You put a whole bunch of fruits and sugar in it. You stir it all up, and you put it in the fridge for a couple of days. That's really the key to sangria. You don't just mix it and drink it. You got to stick it in the fridge for a couple of days before you actually consume it. Sangria is Spanish. It means bleeding because it's a deep red color. And by the way, sangrias didn't actually come to this country and become a popular cocktail until the 1964 New York City World's Fair. It was pretty much unknown. Now it's, of course, it's kind of a summertime staple if you think of it. I don't know too many people who drink sangria in the dead of winter. Of course, we're not quite in the dead of winter yet. But we will be tomorrow at this time. Almost. Bottom of the hour, day in history. The great real estate deal of the 19th century was consummated on this date, December 20th, 1803, 218 years ago. Done deal. It's all over. The Louisiana Purchase was formally completed at a ceremony in New Orleans, the U.S. paying France $15 million in exchange. We got 828,000 square miles. It pretty much doubled the size of the country. Came out to $18 a square mile. Thanks, Napoleon. Got any more land you want to sell, France? Give us a call. We're all over that. The Louisiana Purchase became official on this date in 1803. Happy 75th anniversary to It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, the Christmas film It's a Wonderful Life had its world premiere. There's the actual advertisement at the Globe Theater in New York City. It has since become, of course, a Christmas staple. It will be aired on NBC later on this week. It's a Wonderful Life is 75 years old today. And in case you're curious, in its initial box office run in 1946 into 1947, It's a Wonderful Life lost $500,000. Yeah, they actually lost money on its original release. Makes money now. Happy birthday to that. This is the 69th anniversary of the deadliest plane crash in Washington state history, and it happened not far from where I'm sitting, at Larson Air Force Base in Moses Lake. A United States Air Force C-124 crashed and burned shortly after takeoff from Larson Air Force Base in Moses Lake, full of GIs from the Korean War heading home for the Christmas holidays. Of the 115 people on board, 87 died, 28 survived. At the time, this was December 20th, 1952, 69 years ago. At the time, it was the deadliest plane crash ever. It, of course, has been surpassed many, many times. It remains, however, to this day, the deadliest airplane crash in Washington state history, and it happened in Moses Lake on this date 69 years ago today. Professional sports is coming to the Pacific Northwest. December 20th, 1966, 55 years ago today, Los Angeles businessman Sam Schulman is awarded an MBA franchise for the city of Seattle. The very first major sports team will be coming to Seattle. It will be called the Seattle Supersonics, and they will begin play in October of 1967. Here come the Sonics. And speaking of sports, you remember this? If you were around on December 20th, 1980, 41 years ago today, you remember this. It was a meaningless game between the Dolphins and the Jets at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It was a Saturday, not a Sunday. And NBC knew nobody was going to watch it. It was their national game. They figured nobody's going to watch this. It's a Saturday before Christmas. They're going to go to it. So they did this little gimmick. They ran the entire broadcast between the Jets and the Dolphins, the entire broadcast without announcers, just the ambient noise of the crowd and the officials and the pads hitting each other. No announcers, none, just the ambient noise of the game. It didn't go over particularly well. It was a gimmick. They don't do that anymore. Back in 1980, I remember that. 33 minutes after the hour, two significant figures in baseball history were born on this date. Branch Rickey, born on this date in 1881, died in 1965 at the age of 3. Of course, he was best known for bringing Jackie Robinson to the Brooklyn Dodgers. Signing Jackie Robinson, he played a year in 1946 in Montreal, joined the Dodgers in 1947. He was the first general manager to draft an Hispanic player, Roberto Clemente. He basically invented the modern farm system in baseball, and he introduced the batting helmet. Branch Rickey, the legendary Branch Rickey, born in 1881. And Fred Merkle, we talk about this. Fred Merkle, who back on September 23rd, 1908, when he was 19 years old, in the bottom of the ninth inning of a game again between the Giants and the Cubs at the Polo Grounds, he came to bat with 2 outs, score tied 1-1. Moose McCormick first base. Merkle had a base hit. McCormick went to third base. Al Bridwell trotted up, hit a base hit. McCormick scored. And of course, Fred Merkle did not touch second base. Instead, he beelined to the clubhouse. Since he hadn't touched second base, they found the ball. They touched second base. Merkle is out. The run didn't count. The game was declared a tie. They had to replay it, and the Cubs beat the Giants. When Fred Merkle retired, he said, when I die, you know what they're going to put in my obituary in the New York Times? Fred Merkle's boner, which cost the Giants the 1908 pennant. And when he died, here's his obituary from the New York Times. Fred Merkle, 67 ball player, dies. Giant first baseman's boner in failing to touch second led to loss of the 1908 pennant. He was a good ball player. He played Major League Baseball for 18 years. By the way, John McGraw, the manager of the Giants, he didn't blame Fred Merkle. Oh well, baseball history. 35 minutes after the hour, we are going to take a break. We got an opinion from Mad Dog McNaughty, and then your winter gardening do's and don'ts. There's things you got to do, even though we're covered in snow and it's getting cold. Bonnie Orr will be my guest on this, the last day of autumn. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
You got everything?
Yep.
How's your knee?
Still a little sore, but I've been resting it.
Did they give you anything to help with the pain?
Well, I talked to my doctor about possibly taking opioids, but I just don't want to risk it. They can be very addictive.
That's pretty smart.
Physical therapy, ibuprofen, and rest seems to be working just fine.
Nice. Let's do this.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions, and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil, and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I usually don't repost other people's posts from Facebook, and I like to do my own, but there's a recent one I'm going to share here. I've seen both believers and non-believers post this, which causes me to think that there's some value here for all of us. Now, this post says this: if we Christians somehow arrive at the conclusion that giving up some personal liberties for the sake of other people's safety somehow makes us less free, then we have deeply misunderstood the cross. That's something to think about. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side. You can lift this up. Time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee believes a clean home is a happy home. Mary Maids provides holiday cleaning services to cheer about. Don't let the seasonal cleaning ruin the festive fun. Mary Maids can simplify your life at a great value. It's never too soon to start planning a holiday perfect home. Mary Maids of Wenatchee happily offers a worry-free guarantee. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Call Mary Maids today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Tuesday morning at 7:58 a.m. Say goodbye to autumn, welcome winter. The winter solstice will be happening on this very program tomorrow at 7:58, and making her very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is my good friend Bonnie Orr, who visits us 4 times a year, solstices and equinoxes, to talk about what you need to do or not do at the garden.
And happy solstice.
Thank you. Thank you. Bonnie grows the most delectable carrots
all
ever.
year round.
They're not big, and they're not, but boy, are they flavorful. I mean, they pack a punch. The store-bought carrots look nice. They don't taste like anything.
After they're cold like this, you know, they're so sweet.
These will find a home in my tummy.
In your tummy.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yes, they are really, I mean, it's really interesting how much they have grown because it was so warm for the fall.
We did have in fact, that's what we usually start out with. Let's go ahead and put autumn 2021 to bed. We had a slightly warmer and slightly wetter November. Outside of that, autumn was fairly normal, but we're still in a drought. Now, people think, oh boy, that rain that we got in November, we needed it. But we're still in a drought. We have the stats up right here. We should have, by this point of the year, from January 1st on, we should have over 7 inches of rain normally. We're at 5.58, so we're over 1.5 inches less of rain than we're supposed to.
And since the 90s, when we used to get 9 inches of precipitation a year, so it's really changed. And when I went out to dig the carrots last night, the ground is dry.
It's dry.
It's dry.
It shouldn't be dry.
At carrot depth.
Yeah, which is odd, because carrots are down there a little bit. Yeah,
I know, but anyway, it's pretty interesting.
So people think to themselves, well, it's winter now, or will be by the time this show airs, or in the next couple of days. What do I got to worry about my yard? There's still things you can do. There's still things you should be doing.
Okay, but one of the things we need to worry about with our yards, water use. I mean, like this is just something we need to talk about, is that we are in a drought. It means that the sagebrushes and all of the forest are in a drought as well. But here, we need to rethink about our lawns, about how much lawn we use, how we water. People who water, you know, we had the windiest year from, it blew every day from April 6th to August 6th.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
And hot. It was so hot.
But people ran their sprinklers when
it doesn't do any good. It doesn't do any good at all.
It evaporates, right? So people have to rethink their timing of their water, because they aren't actually putting water down. They're wasting it.
Maybe we should talk about that Xeroscape Garden again. You and I visited that during a Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees episode. It's low, once it's established, it's low maintenance, it's better for the environment, and it's the best thing is you really don't have to work too hard to maintain a Xeroscape Garden.
You don't. You have to deadhead and things like that.
That's it.
But you don't even have to Xeroscape. If you use mulches, it keeps the moisture in. Okay. If you reassess your watering. And it doesn't mean you have to be expensive. It just means you need to be conscientious. I think that would be a good New Year's resolution.
What would be your advice? There is a lot of new development all over north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley. Everybody knows that the orchards are going out, the developments are going in. If you're a first-time homeowner or you're moving into a brand new home that has just been completed, and you have a blank canvas as far as your landscaping and your yard is concerned, what would be your advice to somebody who gets to start from scratch?
Well, fortunately, they're only postage stamp yards. I mean, they're really, the houses are so close together now. The first thing I would do is, depends on if you have dogs and kids, you need a little bit of lawn. You also want a little lawn around the house just to keep the dust down, okay? Then you want to put in shrubs that are fireproof, and you want to really think about that. You don't want to put anything within 30 feet of the house, you know, like for trees. Don't plant shrubs underneath the eaves. Okay, so those things would be really important just because of fire wiseness we need to consider. But, you know, more than that, I think low-growing shrubs and annuals and perennials, you know, in large beds will give you color, and you will not have to weed very much if you keep mulch down.
And if you love birds, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, if you love birds or wildlife hanging around your house, you can plant trees and shrubs that will attract the wildlife that you like to sit in your bay window and watch.
Exactly, and you know the things that have berries on them and flowers that have for pollinators, and then other types of buggy-wuggies that that are little that the birds eat. I grow zinnias, and my zinnias are still up. They're dead, but all the seeds are there, and I'll have 5 different species of birds eating those seeds right now. And so you grow things with seeds for birds too.
Speaking of things that have seeds, fruit trees, pruning fruit trees.
In February, this is a February thing.
Yeah.
You know, you want to take off the water shoots and things like that and make sure that the tree is open. But more important, I mean, pruning is important, but doing the dormant sprays. And the master gardeners at mastergardeners@gmail.com. Okay, they're still available, and we can send out spray schedules electronically to people. And all fruit trees have little mites and overwintering insects. There's nothing worse than having, fruit that's been destroyed by burrowing or gnawing insects. So if you do the dormant sprays, you will smother those eggs and larvae.
Okay.
And that's in February, and when it's above freezing for 24 hours a day, or 24 hours.
What if you didn't get your leaves up in time, and now we got some snow, and you got more snow coming, and there's still, you said, oh geez, I had a no big deal?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
I am, okay, so it depends on how deep those things are, but the wonderful thing is that the worms and other insects will eat all of those leaves. You have very few leaves left in the spring.
Okay, that's good advice.
The more serious thing is if you put down a heavy fertilizer, like that terrible stuff called 20-20-20. I don't know who's guilty of that, but you will have a better chance of having snow mold in the spring.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that.
Well, I don't want it specifically because I'm allergic to snow mold. I just sneeze and I break out. It just drives me crazy.
So, you can create more difficulties with over-fertilizing in the fall.
Perhaps the most important thing, and we're going to devote the vast majority of this conversation to this, are our feathered friends who need to eat and survive through the winter months. There are some things that you need to do to remind yourself about making sure our little feathered friends are happy and full of calories and make it through the winter. Let's talk about feeding our birds, the do's and the don'ts.
Don't feed the birds on the ground, okay, because if you have a feeder that spills lots on the ground, you need to move that feeder around, because when birds defecate on the ground, then that allows other organisms to grow which can make the birds sick. So if you have stuff that's on the ground, you need to move that feeder around, or else you need to cover it with straw or something. Okay, and they need water. Okay, and it's really fun to have one of those little heaters in whatever you choose to have. Of course, they have the river to drink out of, but you can't see them in the river.
That's true. Yeah, and they're very reasonably priced. I've seen them. They're very reasonably priced, and they basically keep the water from freezing.
And it has to be cleaned about every 4 or 5 days, depending on the species of birds you have. And the same thing with hummingbird feeders. If you have a heated hummingbird feeder, about every 3 days you need to throw out the other, and make a new solution for them. A fourth of a cup of sugar in a cup of water that has been boiled, because the little heater allows all sorts of little microorganisms to grow in that solution.
We've seen squirrels just explode in population here in north central Washington from East Wenatchee out of Wenatchee.
They found their way over the bridge.
They found their way over the bridge. How do you?
I don't know.
Can you keep the squirrels from climbing up into your bird feeder and helping themselves? Is there?
I have a bird feeder that has a screen all the way around it. The birds can get in, but the squirrels cannot.
Okay, so I'm going to look into that, because that's the one thing.
And also, I put my other bird feeders on very, very long metal pole, and they cannot get up and down that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a capital idea.
Yeah.
A couple of summers ago, we went and filmed an episode, not an episode of Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees. We filmed a segment for this program in my brother's backyard, and he has some hummingbird feeders in the backyard, and he has now become an enthusiast of hummingbirds. He finds them fascinating, and he has 3 or 4 feeders right out in his backyard, and he can sit in his and watch the hummingbirds come. And on tomorrow, on the winter solstice, there's some special things going. Talk about this whole hummingbird thing that just has caught my eye.
Well, the Audubon Society in town this year is sponsoring this hummingbird census. And so they want you to watch. You can go on this website, which we're going to show in a little bit, and you can tell about your bird behavior and how many you have. It is pretty interesting. The Anna's hummingbird is the only one that's here for the winter, and it's a year-round resident now. And people come up to me and go, I have 3 hummingbirds, or I have 2 hummingbirds. I have 3. I have an immature male, an adult male, and a female. And they stay in my yard pretty much all day, but I do know there are other heated feeders in the neighborhood, and so they probably are making the rounds. But I personally know people who have a couple of dozen birds all together. It's pretty interesting.
Pardon my ignorance, but when hummingbirds aren't eating, where do they nest? Where do they live in the winter months?
Conifers deep in.
They go back in the big fir trees. They go right to
That's
the
right.
center.
Have you ever noticed that underneath a conifer, it's very seldom wet on the ground underneath, and so they probably go up against the bark. Or
protects them from the snow. And
right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
They also go into all sorts of little cavities, I think. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they seem to like it.
Well, they seem to survive. In 2016, when it was 6 degrees, we lost nearly all of them. But we aren't going to have cold like that.
I hope so. I hope not.
So.
The long-term forecast, by the way, from the Climate Prediction Center, this is going to be a La Nina year, and they're telling us now, between now and March, when spring comes, it's supposed to be slightly colder and slightly wetter than normal. That's the long-term. And they're usually pretty good at that.
What's normal?
Yeah, that's true. But the Climate Prediction Center, these people deal specifically with long-term forecasts, months and months in advance. Their batting average is pretty good.
Yes, I mean, you're talking to the daughter.
Yeah, that's right. She knows what she's talking about.
Right.
We're going to throw that website up for you people who want to participate in the annual tally sheet to count up the hummingbirds and see how many we have.
That's right.
Here.
And you know what? I want to talk about the fact that Arbor Day, I mean, it's a long way off.
April 23rd.
April 23rd. We need to think about that. And we have sugar maples this year. Now, sugar maples are not a tree. It needs water, okay? But eventually, you should be able to get maple sugar from it. Really, honest to God, it would be really wonderful. And then red flowering currant, which has lovely bright pink flowers in the spring, and then currants, red currants, which the birds love, okay? And then a plant called cinquefoil. It's a shrub, and it's a type of a potentilla, little yellow flowers, drought resistant. And so is the currant. And then northern bayberry. Do you remember the Christmas candles that used to be buried?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the plant, and those little waxy berries are what if the birds don't eat them, you could melt them down, add them to candle making or whatever. And then a conifer is limber pine, which is one that has really soft, long needles. Okay. It's really kind of fun.
One last note before we cut Bonnie loose, and I almost forgot about this because we're on the Christmas season. Poinsettias.
Yes.
But a couple of quick heads up. One of them I'll mention. I'll let Bonnie take the rest of it. Poinsettias are poisonous to pets. If a pet gets a piece of poinsettia and eats it, that's bad news. So just a quick heads up on that. If you have curious animals around the house who want to say, hey, what's this Christmas plant all about? And they decide to do a little grazing, that's not good. They're poisonous to animals. They're poisonous to everybody, but they're poisonous to animals.
Well, they aren't poisonous to us.
Right.
They irritate our skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anything else poinsettia related wise while I have you here?
Or any other plants you want to buy for Christmas? It is less than 50 degrees, okay, day and night. You buy something at the store, and then you carry it out to your cold car, it's over.
It's going to die.
So what you do is, at the store, you ask them to put it into a huge plastic bag, tie it, then have a person drive up next to the door, and you hop into your warm car, okay? because it only takes maybe 90 seconds.
And that's all it takes for the plant to go.
That's right.
I'm done.
Yeah, somebody brought me a really expensive, fancy orchid. It was 28 degrees, had it in their car, brought it into my house. The next day, all the flowers fell off.
Oh,
anyway, so just if you're going to spend the money for a beautiful plant, take care from the purchase to the home.
Bonnie, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Again, if you want to participate in the annual hummingbird tally, the census for hummingbirds, which is on December 21st, the first day of winter, just go to the website that we showed you earlier. We'll throw it up again real quick. Anything else while I have you here, Bonnie, before I cut you loose?
No, but happy solstice.
Happy solstice.
The days will be getting longer.
Yes.
The days will, and enjoy it. I hope we have lots of beautiful snow. Yeah.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas just like the ones I used to know until we get to about the middle of January. Then I'm ready to play golf.
Well, you know,
That's where I'm
aren't
at.
we wonderful that we are moved beyond our inversion layers?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't last as long.
Yeah, they used to be. They would be for months at a time. You would
From
never even see the
November to
sun.
January, yeah,
But
yeah.
they're not as bad as they used to be.
Yeah, so that's good.
Bonnie Orr, give it up, making her very first appearance, by the way, on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. She's never been on this
I've never
program.
been on this show before.
It's always great to see you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I will see you on the first day of spring.
Indeed.
All right. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Of all the things you'll try to clear your mind, like yoga with a goat, why not start with the most basic? A comfortable environment to breathe in. Maybe it's time to rethink your air.
Patriot Plumbing, heating and cooling will give your home a hug.
Bear Foods is the small town store with the big time inventory. Join the growing movement to better nutrition with everything you need to improve your well-being. Bear Foods is more than a health food store. It's your good food store in downtown Chelan.
For the most unique wine tasting experience in the Chelan Valley, visit One Wines. Popular for being the smallest and most intimate facility in the valley, it features one red, one white, and one rosé. Complex wines, simple elegance.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma, and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
All right, we are back. Let's do some temperatures right now. 21 degrees outside of our studios in Wenatchee. Ellensburg's at 28. They're getting some light snow. Everybody is getting some light snow. This was expected, just not this much, that the system that's bringing us the snow is actually to the south of us. It's down to the Tri-Cities, Yakima, Walla Walla area and into Hermiston, Oregon, and it's kind of stalled. And now it's kind of creeping its way up north, which is why we have the light snow coming down, and we'll have light snow coming down for most of the day today. When it's all said and done, another couple of inches in addition to what we've already had from the National Weather Service. Here we go, your Christmas week forecast. Again, intermittent snow off and on. It should be tapering off right around sunset, right around 4 or so this afternoon. We'll get up to about 30 degrees, 27 for the overnight low tonight. The clouds and the fog will be right back tonight. Tuesday, we catch a break. Going to be pretty dry, pretty nice, all things considered. Snow level is going to go up to about 4,000 feet. So we're not expecting any real snow on Tuesday. In fact, we'll even see a few sunbreaks with a high of about 31 degrees, 28 for the overnight low on Tuesday night. Wednesday and Thursday, we warm up to near 40 with a rain-snow mix off and on with snow in the colder temperatures and rain in the warmer temperatures. But I think we're going to have a white Christmas, and this much I can tell you, Next week, starting Saturday, Christmas Day, and going into Sunday and all of next week, very cold temperatures. Winter begins tomorrow at 7:58, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.